Okay, so there we go. We're live. 10 minutes of brain fade, that sums up India's day. 10 minutes of brain fade. Let's first take quick comments. Gargi, Prantik, Amrut, and me, four of us. We've got all of the others. We've got Trisha, Gaurav, and Ogni also right right in front of us. Actually, they'll come into the screen any moment. But Prantik, first thoughts. Firstly, there was no run. Secondly, Virat was ball watching. You've taken two steps and then you turn. By that time, Yashashvi had committed himself, and he was a goner. It was Jaiswal's call. The non-striker has to respond. Once you are two steps down, you go. You did not go, and by that guilt, you lost your own wicket because he had left many such balls today through his innings of 80 odd, 36 batting. That one instant of brain fade cost India Jaiswal, cost India Kohli.
Use the word ball watching. I think that's the point. And see, Kohli is such a good runner. You would back that if he had just addressed that call, if he had just accepted that call, he would have made it. Ball watching is the point, and that hurt me a lot because Kohli normally, other batsmen typically fail to sort of respond to Kohli's call. But here, if Kohli had watched or just trusted Jaiswal, that beautiful partnership, you were saying 160, 180 for two, I think ideal day. Ideal day. India would be on top. And we wouldn't have been hearing this behind us. And again, but Kohli, we could say he sort of lost concentration, but someone of Kohli's stature, once again fishing outside the off stump, very, very disappointing. I think today we are going home. I think, he's a hero. I love the guy, what he's done. But I think he has to take responsibility. He could have left that ball. And personally, I'm not a big fan of the night watchman move. You still had 7, 8 overs. Yes, Akashdeep, the plan worked for us in the previous match, but that's not going to happen all the time. Team suddenly lost 3 wickets, and but Kohli has to take responsibility. Ravi?
Yeah, I think that was foolish. Completely. I think either he should have just said no when he took those two steps, or he shouldn't have left his place. That the fact that he turned around and watched the ball, and by the time you had lost so much time, I think that's where Virat Kohli went wrong. That was absolutely wrong from Virat Kohli. That he turned around to watch the ball. That's like the number one rule in partnerships. You never look at the ball that's behind you. You got your partner for that. If you feel like you don't strike out wrong, just say no. I don't know why he took those two steps, looked back, and then it was a complete brain thing. Completely, and it cost us the game. Let's be honest, that's where
The
India
match.
lost the
And
result.
yeah, the match. It could have cost India the match, potentially, because you still have your four all-rounders. You've gone in with four all-rounders. Let me take you into the story now. Your thoughts, because Jaiswal was batting as if it was a 150 score. He was there. You could see the confidence. You could see he was unfazed by anything that was being thrown at him. That was 100 for the taking, which India lost, and then lost Virat. Those 10, 15 minutes, that's what cricket is. But that's what cost India potentially the day and also the match.
I guess a reflection of how life plays out sometimes. The game turns in a space of 10 minutes, a poor judgment call, and what is turning out to be a good recovery is nipped in the bud. It was unfortunate, because we were actually looking at a much higher score, 550 odd at around lunchtime. Things seemed to turn around when those three quick wickets fell after lunch, and when India started batting. But unfortunate to see, well, Jaiswal had 100 for the taking, possibly could have even gone on to make it a big daddy 100.
That's what he does.
And yeah, and I guess that's sad to see that it had to end in a run out. Uh, but there are also other problems. I think Rohit opening.
We'll come to that. We'll
Yeah,
come to
I
the
think
Rohit
that,
part
yeah.
because the last 10 minutes sort of summed up the day. Let's take initial comments from Gaurav also. Gaurav, your first one?
Well, my first thoughts are how those Percy should have stayed in the past. The wickets don't fall. The things good things were happening. While we were there, the partnership closely, trickled into 100 plus. Yeah, definitely Australia's there. Yeah, the first session,
Yeah. I'm there as well.
all
Pushing
directions,
the shame on
very,
you can come there and
captaincy. Yeah. Also very clueless as well in the first session itself. And again, the last 30 minutes was a bit painful to watch. I think all the spectators found their voice back. And I think the next session is the one that's going to make or break it. Right? We have our two best test batters out there.
Yes,
Right?
yes,
So
yes.
overseas test batters out there. So it's good. We fielded them for 40 overs. That's something we'll be talking about.
And you
Now
got
it's over to
30
them.
overs of the old ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the 30 overs of the old ones.
100 runs and it's a different game.
100%. So let's see tomorrow. All game on.
Yeah, it's 80-20 Australia, but then there's Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja. You've played Washington Sundar ahead of others. You've played Nitish Reddy ahead of Shubman Gill. So you expect runs there. It's not a number 8, number 9 coming there. You've played them as all-rounders. You expect runs. This is still a batting deck. You've got 30 overs of this Kookaburra. So clearly 100 runs there, add 100 runs to this and India close to saving the follow-on, then it's a different game. But let's start. Let's decode the innings from start. You mentioned Rohit Sharma. I'll start with you, Gargi. None of us are kind of equipped to call it, saying, you've got to give it up. But at this point in time, he has a dual role. And the first role is captain of India. As captain of India, are you adding value? For you, Shubman Gill has had to sit out. KL Rahul has had to go down because he is not opening, which was his preferred position. He was your best batter. It's clearly in the mind. That shot could have been deposited over long on to any seat. That shot could have been cut over third. That shot could have been left alone. Rohit Sharma went for that shot, and it was a nothing shot. Your thoughts on Rohit Sharma and the problem in the mind?
The only thing I keep thinking about was if it was any other day that shot would have gone for a six. If it was
That's what Ravi Shastri was telling me.
if it was the Rohit of, I think maybe just a year ago or something, you would have seen that go for the six. But you can tell by his body language, the way that he approached that shot, he was very double minded. He was not there. He was not there mentally, and it's difficult because from the outside it doesn't. I mean, we understand how it works, but from the outside it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good that Shubman Gill had to say that your best batter had to come down and that at this point you had to influence so much with the batting lineup just to get Rohit Sharma to number one, and it doesn't look good, especially when Rohit Sharma was not actually giving you a lot of confidence. So the fact that such a big call, such a gutsy call was done just to get Rohit Sharma to open, and then coming without
So where does this go from here? Rohan's also joining us. Gaurav's there. Let's ask the question, the elephant in the room. Let's address it. One more innings for Rohit. Where does this go from here? Because there's the Sydney test, massive test. Because even if you're losing this 1-2-1, you still got Sydney to play. You win that, it's 2-all. You retain Border Gavaskar Trophy. So it's one of the most important test matches you will play. So where does Rohit Sharma go from here? Does he have the confidence in himself to lead India and get India out of trouble, score himself, or does he address the elephant in the room and say, no, time for me to take a break? What does he do? Because this is his call. No one can tell him that, you step down. No one can tell him before this series that it's time to call it. It is his call. What does he have to do? It is in the mind, because this is a problem that Rohit will now have to address. So,
Difficult one. I'm not in this shoes. Um, yeah. As a fan, what a great innings from this guy. Just lifted a World Cup a few months back. But at the current stage, as a fan, yeah, maybe give way, give the reins back to just reins. I think he did a great job in both the also. So I think it's a hard call, but it's a great thing to step up. In this case, step down, step up, and give a chance to the young guy. And yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah.
don't forget Shubman Gill is sitting out because of this.
100%. And I think, Buriala, there's been precedents, right? MS Dhoni did it on this shows. Third test, Brisbane, let's see the test match, and then he said, I'm done. And again, to Gargi's point, and probably what Rohit actually told you as well, what was that shot? And it's a shot of a man who is in two minds, right? So pulling that ball from that length comes naturally to him. He's probably one of the greatest pullers of the game. I just seen that probably after the one thing, and any other day would have gone anywhere. So it was his natural instinct to go for the shot, and then he held back, and it went nowhere. And again, he got out to a very similar shot in the India-New Zealand Test match. When we were chasing that last 160 in one hitting, right? He got out playing exactly the same shot, and tied it up, and probably all his dismissals was probably playing in his mind.
So I don't think he's in the right space. Right, and again, we've seen that. I think we're in good hands. Jasprit Bumrah is what he showed in Perth and the other tests that he captained in the UK. It looks like he's already there. It looks like a finished product already. And like you said, Shubman Gill's waiting. So yeah, it's going to be some. He has to ask some hard questions, and has to be honest.
Clearly honest, hard questions, deep call, whatever you want to call it. Rohit will have to take this call. But let's also address some other issues here. One, India changed the batting order for this. Was it the right call? Should Rohit Sharma have gone 3 over dropping Gill, allowed KL Rahul and Yashasvi Jaiswal to open? Because the two of them have done the job in Perth. Rahul has looked your best batter on tour.
And it didn't seem to affect Jaiswal and Rahul in this innings completely. They still put on a very good partnership after Rohit got out. But yeah, it still begs the question: should they have actually orchestrated this entire change in the batting order just to give Rohit an opportunity to find some form? You can see the logic. If it was say a couple of years ago, you may not have questioned this move as much because you could just say it's a temporary loss of form. But all signs over the last few months seem to suggest that this could be we are nearer to the end of the career rather than this just being considered as a temporary blip in the form. So,
Yeah, I mean these are tough words. I can see the words coming out with a lot of pain, and that's what it is. Every Indian fan, every Indian analyst would say, this is a tough one. But having said that, a series is on the line, a test match is on the line. KL Rahul got a peach, no complaints. But that Virat Kohli dismissal after that run out, you are Virat Kohli for God's sake. Focus back. Focus back because that dismissal, he's left those balls today multiple times, whether it's from Scott Boland, whether it's from Cummins, whether it's from Stark. At least 30 such balls he's left. He edged one. Typical Virat Kohli dismissal this series, but it was also induced by the fact that that run out had happened. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. I'll just touch on what Amrit was saying. According to me, I think it was a poor call by Rohit and the team to send Rohit up. I think if the idea was to sort of bring people back in form in the current situation, probably come in the middle, right? I think it is not fair on. Yes, it's a different matter that KL and SSB were not impacted. That just shows how good in touch they are. They should have opened. Coming to Kohli, absolutely. I think this is a repeat of what we have seen a decade ago. And today it hurt even more because he fought hard. He batted well. There were some very, very good on drives. Even some of the singles and some of the doubles he was taking, they were running well. Did the hard yards. I think Boland bowled very well. But initially, I think Kohli negotiated Boland and Stark and Cummins really well. But again, lack of concentration, only him to look again legends, but as Amrut used sort of alluding to the fact that we're nearing the end. I think Rohit and the Kohlis of the world know that the end is in sight. Maybe 6 months, 12 months, it's their call. But I still really, really think that Kohli, I think the other thing on the mind, talk about mind games, sitting in the ground, it hurts to see a Kohli being booed, right? And I'm certain he's human. That probably plays on his mind as well. There's a lot of things on your mind. So I think whether it's what happened the other day, whether what's happened today, it's a lot of mental pressure. Kohli needs to sort that out because I think he's too good not to be able to capitalize. Even the run out, I don't think a Kohli, someone at his stature can allow that to happen. There's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, when we say it's time to call it, my point is look at Steve Smith. That was a rediscovery. He recalibrated. He batted hours and hours. That's what Virat did. Come on, get it done. It's not as if Steve Smith and Joe Root found a new mojo. I mean, he was losing form during baseball. He found a way. Kane Williamson has found a way. Steve Smith has found a way. Why not Virat Kohli? He's physically there. Mentally, he has to be there. Today was his day. On a good batting deck here at the MCG, you just cannot let a run out impact yourself. That 36 should have been 136 and game on. That's where the problem is. These days, Virat Kohli, after getting set, 20s, 30s, folks, just does not do the job in test match cricket. They're of zero value. They're of zero value. When you get to a 30, you convert that into 100. That's what Jaiswal was about to do when that run out happened. Gaurav, that for me is the turning point of this game so far.
Yeah, one, what was that? I mean, both of them are people to blame. One, best one was no single in that. There was absolutely no single in that. And then we just kept on ball watching. Right? So just like the fundamentals of the game. But time and again, we've seen this with Virat in the last few series as well. If you remember, again, going back to the New Zealand Test match, I think the second Test match, that run out, that ridiculous run that he took on the long on fielder. And again, time and again, once he gets himself in, he's been getting out to silly balls, right? You have seen that actually happening, getting out to full tosses. So all that's been happening in the last the last year and a half. He's found ways of getting out where, the Virat Kohli is the past in that concept. But to your point, all his other contemporaries, this, it's Smith or whether it's Williams, and of course Joe Root's like, making hundreds in sleep. Uh, they have all found ways, right, to play and show their class and find their mojo. So yeah, something's got to give. I don't think that Virat, the legend he is. I'm a huge fan, but just can't rest on your laurels. It's Test cricket, for God's sake.
Your thoughts on that?
Very similar. I think, yeah, it's painful to see him really doing it well, but then, yeah, losing it on maybe lack of focus in a manner that he's done it a couple of times now. He's the last this season itself, and not going back in time. So I think, yeah, you cannot sit on your laurels, and yeah, you need to reinvent, but that's like Rohit, fine running shot. And I feel personally he's in a physically he looks great, very fit, all that, but mentally I guess maybe he's already he's which doesn't come out that we also talk about the fitness levels, etc. I think Virat on the side fitness wise 10 on 10. Mental fitness, don't know. And maybe that's a factor which is obviously bogging him down. And yeah, hard question again. Sad to see it, but yeah, let him figure a way out. Reinvent or save it with the young talent that's abundant in India.
That is the point. Let me go to Amrit on this as well. By the way, Sundar came for the press conference. We will give you the news point. Match is not over yet. We will fight back. Washington Sundar, interesting. Four all rounders. That was actually my next segment. Ashish, join us. Come on. Come in.
So
All
you
of you
want,
join us.
yeah,
Come,
thank
come.
you so much.
Why don't we go behind, because then all of us can talk about
Yeah,
it.
so
Come,
I
come.
just wanted to say something about because you guys are talking about Virat Kohli. I just wanted to say one simple thing. It is just Virat Kohli just stand in front of the mirror, and Virat should come to Kohli and say, "How did I become Virat Kohli?" The answer lies there. The deep answer lies there. That he has to just talk to him. It's not about the technique or anything because he has made so many runs. I think he needs to talk to himself. He showed discipline today, but he needs discipline and he has to exhibit the discipline for a longer period of time. I think it's just about him talking to himself and going back and thinking about what he has done in the past. How did Virat become the King Kohli that we all know, we all knew that everything will come back? But I think it is time, and it is. I'm saying this with a little bit of an anguish as well. That if he doesn't perform and if it carries on this way, I think it is time to let him go.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's saying the same thing, that it's also a mental issue. Disappointed how we lost Jaiswal and Kohli, says Washington Sundar. Your thoughts?
No, as an Indian fan, it's very devastating to see. I mean, how the last half an hour went. I think we were in the game 150 for two. One would have thought we'll end the day very, very strong. Tomorrow would have been another day. Now, I think, on the total, I think that I still think Pant and Jadeja, both the way the wicket is behaving, I think they should be able to fight it out. The morning 1 hour will be very, very important because if we can, I think, make sure that we don't lose the wicket in the first hour. We know Jadeja, I mean, he has two triple centuries in the domestic circuit. And once we all know what he's capable of, 2 hours with him on the crease could change the game. I think,
Just don't give wickets in the first 15
yeah,
overs.
first one
Show
hour
the
is going to be
discipline
super
and then
critical.
express yourself later.
30 overs of the old ball. 30 overs of this red Kookaburra still left before the new ball is taken. Rishabh Pant draws a Travis head. This game will turn on its head. India gets to 350, it's game on.
Absolutely.
The fact of the matter is you've got to save the follow on. You've got four all-rounders. What, 112 runs to save the follow on now? 164 for 5, Ragi? That's the...
100 something.
Yeah, 164. So clearly 112 more runs. You've got Washington Sundar, who's come to the press conference and said there is fight. Washington Sundar last series, that 60 odd. There's Rishabh Pant. He's due. Rishabh Pant is due all series. He's got to do the Travis Head job. He's got to do that act. Ravindra Jadeja, one of our best batters, one of our best overseas batters. He's done what he did in, if you think back Melbourne, Ajinkya Rahane is 100. as important an innings was Ravindra Jadeja's 50. So clearly, India has batting, and Nitish Reddy has looked the part right through the series. Now let's kind of we talked about what happened. Let's take all our guests about what can happen for India tomorrow morning. Gargi, I'll start with you.
Steve Smith has come out with a PC, so I'll just put light on what he said. The way Kohli was batting, he looked set for a big one and a masterclass. Yashasvi batted beautifully, happy to get him out. And Jaiswal said yes. Okay. Jaiswal said yes. Kohli did not want that run, so he turned back and made those two wickets, says Steven Smith.
Yeah, so clearly he's saying that. I mean, it was Jaiswal's call, all of us know, because he was telling Kohli while he was walking out, it was my call. He said that very categorically, it was my call. Can India do the job tomorrow morning?
Look, every day when I go back, I feel India can. Last evening we were speaking here, we felt India would, get Australia for 350. Wasn't to be. At lunch, when I was doing this with Amrut, we thought it was going to be 550. Australia was looking very good. India was lucky that we got those wickets early. Again, we failed to capitalize. So heart says yes. I genuinely, to all the points you mentioned, we have four very good batsmen. We can get there. But I think let's take it one session at a time, like you were saying, Ashish, and some of the other guests. Let's get the follow-on out of the way. It's just going to be mind over matter. It's a long. I definitely believe we're not out of the game for sure. But are we going to get there and win? I think that's a very, very long discussion. Let's get the follow-on out of the way. Let's get maybe, even if Australia gets a lead of 70, 80, I think game on. I would still back India. Look, this is Bumrah's hunting ground. He's taken 24. He's taken 24 wickets overall. He's taken 18 here. I would back the team to sort of come back. So I think one session at a time. If we sort of avoid follow on, if we bat the first hour very well, I think less than 100 runs lead. I think India is in for a good shot.
Yes, so as you speak, I'll get you in on this, Amrut. Let me also tell you there's another controversy, and the controversy is this. As Virat Kohli was walking back, this is what happened. All of you can zoom in. And he's walking back, he turns around. He turns around because he was being abused, and he comes back. Thank God, thank
Someone
God.
says that someone was saying talking about his family.
So yeah, so that's what happened. It's just going a bit out of hand now. It's just going a bit out of hand. Come in. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know how much of this, is just the player's fault. I think the administrator, ICC, needs to step in every time an incident of this nature happens. And what we've seen is evidence over years and years is that the ICC is reluctant to step in whenever an Indian cricketer is involved, either positively or negatively. So there's going to be no end to this. Players need to be responsible, but how how are you going to rein in the superstars? If someone goes and does a shoulder barge, there's going to be abuse coming your way. Is it warranted? Is it not warranted? Is it justified? Not justified? It's a chain reaction, right? You trigger something, you're going to you have to expect a reaction. Once the reaction comes, you don't know how it's going to spiral out, and we are actually seeing this. And one day, the day is not too far when it'll actually just spiral out of control, and then somebody will have to do something to take bring the to read the riot act to the players.
This is not what you want to see on a cricket field. When he was going out, abuse being heaped on him again, and he comes back. Thank God nothing happened. He just walked back. So end of story. I don't think this matter will escalate. And again, this is a video which has been taken by a fan. It's in circulating. So I think one should not read too much into it because. But again, this is not warranted. Coming back to the crickets, Ashish, you reckon a fight on tomorrow morning?
I think the big contest is going to be bunch versus fly. I think Australia is going to apply all the tactics with having these long on. That's going to be the big game. Rishabh Pant can kind of see that through. I know he's not going to hold back. He's going to attack. That's what we all want to see. But that's going to be the big one. I think middle line versus one, the big game.
I would feel that Jadeja to hold one end up. Jadeja to see through bowling. There's going to be clouds tomorrow in Melbourne. I'm local. I've been living here for 15 years, so there won't be a lot of the sea movement. There'll be a little bit of swing. See to that first hour, Jadeja to be and to be developing partnerships with the lower order and Hunt to express himself. But take the calculated risk, show some discipline, express yourself, yes, in the second session, but not in the first half. So hold on to the first half and then come back and express yourself. Definitely
The,
fight on.
the other counterpoint to that point of view is you've got the old ball for 30 overs. Get 120 odd like Australia did today morning. And Rishabh Pant once told me this for all of us. He said, you guys think I don't think. He said, obviously in Hindi. He said, आप सोचते हो मैं दिमाग नहीं लगाता हूँ. And this was about that last series here, where Nathan Lyon was getting literally sort of 360-degree turn from there. And he said Nathan Lyon bowled the ball on 6 stump, and the ball ended on 11 stump, that kind of turn. The moment he got that turn, his eyes lit up. And I thought to myself, if I was Nathan Lyon, all I will do is pitch it middle and get the ball to turn. Because you've pitched out off, outside off, and you've got the ball to go away. I have left it. Now you will pitch middle, you will know that the ball will turn and you'll get me. So I will step out and I'll outthink you. Nathan Lyon bowled it on middle, Pant was there, the ball was in the stands. That is it. And he can outthink. I think in this series, Rishabh has mentally not been able to work out, should I go for it, should I hold back? Time and again, you see he's gotten out to 2 pitches. One, that ball that it could have gotten anyone. Secondly, he's gotten forward, he's come out with intent, but then he's given it up. That's not the Rishabh Pant we know. Tomorrow morning, uncluttered mind, Ravindra Jadeja, we know what he can do. India will bank on these two for a 100-run partnership. Frantic.
No, I think I would agree with your approach. I mean, I know the conventional view, and obviously you're a local, you would understand the temperature conditions. But I think the lesson is in terms of what happened today with the Aussies, like you said. I think we need to attack because I think when you're facing a Boland, Stark, Cummins, there's a number on your wicket. It's a matter of a good ball like the one that Kohli got, or probably the best ball of the day was the one that got Rahul. So I think Pant has to attack. I don't know if there is a waiting game here, to be honest, right? It wouldn't work with a Pant, as we know. No matter how, in fact, to your point, he's just been too circumspect. So I think the idea is, in my head, Pant to express right away as he would do. Jadeja has to hold up, but Pant has to go because I think counter attacking is the only way, and that's the only language the Aussies understand. That's what they did to us. So we need to sort of fight back and give it back in the cricketing sense and counter attack. Because if Pant gets a 150 here, which is very, very plausible, he's due, he's talented, good hunting ground. I think the point well made about the battle against Lion. I think that's what that can sort of take us home.
Quite a few super chats. Can you take them? Can you fire the super chats? I mean, we'll get all our guests to kind of answer one each. What is this? Boria, if you have any shame, say sorry. Okay. I said after the first test that Sharma is a useless test player and a slogger. Shameless person is Sharma. He's the captain of India, you idiot. So don't talk like a fool here. And this is not a show for trolls. So get this out. What's the other one? 10 minutes of brain fade will cost us the BGT and will cost us WTC. Completely Kohli's mistake. We are done clueless bowling. I'll give that to who wants to take that. You take that.
Well, I think guess will just answer that. Yes, I mean the run out was perhaps a combined mistake at that level. We expect it better. I mean, I'm not with you. Regarding Kohli, I think he should have stayed on. I mean, loss of focus, but again at that level, expect them to have that unbridled focus for continuous hours. He's shown that earlier, so it's not that he's not, he's not used to that. So yeah, definitely that moment of weakness got him out, and then yeah, like, no point talking about controversy. The today one that makes sense. So as I already said, tomorrow initial statement first one is important. I still feel we're not on the woods, my opinion. Follow on is the first target. I mean, the lead, getting to Australia is still far away as well. I was there in Perth, personally saw that match. It's not that easy. I mean, we were celebrating, when we forwarded a follow on. So even that situation for a few days back. So get out of the woods first, then figure out. I agree with Prantik. The only thing that, works against all these is attack. You have a 30-year-old, you have a pretty old ball and 30 overs to go. That's a chance. Once a new Kokabura comes in, it's not different, let's be honest. And you don't have your frontline batsman anymore.
Any more? Can you guys hear Flash? Yes. Hope Harshit Rana in place of Siraj Gill in place of Rohit should be there for the fifth test. Good call. Good call. I mean, good question. You want to address that? Either of you? Okay, you take it.
A decent call with Rashid because he had a very good game first game, but obviously then can't decide his future. But I believe Prasidh Krishna should take a good chance. If at all, I was thinking that if I would have actually played Prasidh instead of Siraj this game itself. What was the other question?
Rohit, Shubman Gill for Rohit.
Shubman Gill from Rohit was a tight call. I think Rohit himself would answer this question then because he's the captain of the team. Obviously, he played the final test. But future, I mean, in due course, Rohit will let you know what he's going to do.
Okay, any more? Rahul, if you could flash. Any more? Otherwise, I'll kind of take closing comments. Okay, if you flash more. I'll start with Amrut. Strategy. We've had multiple different points of view already. Should Pant play the Pant role, come and attack? Because you've got that old ball, won't move much. So clearly, a red Kookaburra gets soft, the seam will have already gotten soft. So clearly, it won't do much. Whoever you are, even if you're Mitchell Stark, it won't do much. Will Pant back himself and counter attack? Because that could just work. Come inside. Yeah.
I think Pant's history in this country seems to suggest, I mean, he has the template of his innings in Sydney 4 years ago, to look back, where he actually blocked, and then went straight into the stands. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a calculated assault from him. It's not going to be attack. I think he's probably going to do he's going to take the route of assessing the situation tomorrow and then deciding when to attack.
The other important call, who would you back next? I would back Nitish Reddy ahead of Washington Sundar. You cannot just let the Australians settle into a line against left-handers. You get Nitish Reddy, you disturb the line, and you get Washington Sundar after that.
Bang on. In fact, I would have actually had Nitish in place of Akash. I think you knew you had two lefties coming in, a lefty righty when Akash, again, night watchman, not a personal believer. So absolutely, Nitish needs to come up, and I think you got to back the guy. To your point, there's also a precedent that you're setting. The reason you want Prasid, the man's done well in the trial game in this very ground, right? What's the point, right? If someone's doing well, you got to reward that. Different angles. Likewise, Nitish has proven even today's fielding. You can see his energy when the chips are down. You can see what it means for a Nitish, a newcomer. You can see the confidence. So I think Nitish should definitely come ahead because there's no point getting another lefty, in my opinion. And I think Washi can do a good job if he has to bat with the tail. He has done that in the past. So I think for me, Nitish comes in next. But I'm genuinely, as a fan, again, I go home disappointed again today. But I'm really hoping that there is somehow a 150-run partnership coming in the first session. That will cheer me up.
Uh, the point is India has to first take the half an hour, then the next half an hour. That's how you build partnerships. That's how you avoid the follow-on. You need 100 runs, which is not too far. Having said that, play the first 10, then the next 10. If Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja are able to negotiate the first 10, half the job is done because 40 runs would have come by then. India would have been close to 200, 210 by the end of the first half. That's how you build partnerships in Test match cricket. And Australia will not expose a Pat Cummins and a Mitchell Stark. Not two of them. One of them will bowl because they will want to preserve them for the second new ball. You will get that 10 over window between 70 and 80. One end will either be Lyon or Mitchell Marsh. You've got to target one bowler. Who is that bowler that India targets? Because you've got to go after one. With the second new ball, Mitch Stark will come steaming in. So will Pat Cummins. These are little calculations that make such a difference to Test match cricket.
I agree. I think the point for Jadeja and Pant tomorrow, play a natural game. I mean,
If the ball is there to be hit it.
exactly. Play a natural game. Jadeja can be the anchor role. Pant will not go berserk. That's how it said. Calculative, but yeah, do your job. I mean, can't hold Pant back. There's no point doing that. We saw in Rohit potentially that factor because he's trying to hold himself back because it's a natural pull shot for him. So Pant's gonna do his job. Jadeja could be the pivot or the anchor, and then yeah, rotate the strike, get your ones and twos, don't miss on them, get that boundary every couple of balls. Yeah, it goes all as per plan. Yeah, we should, in those 30 balls of the 30 overs of old ball, get about 100 runs, and then you're more set in. And when the new ball comes in, at least you have more confidence.
And you've saved the follow.
Exactly. That's the first thing. Save the follow on, then we think rest. It's still about 116 runs or something.
112. Yeah.
That's, yeah. It's still a sizable number. It's not some piece of cake. So get to that first, then we think for more.
But also the fact of the matter is Ravindra Jadeja and Rishabh Pant have been India's best batters overseas in the last year. So it's not as if we've not got batting. We've got solid batting to come. We've got Nitish Reddy, who's looked the second best batter after KL Rahul in this series. We've got Washington Sundar, who's played beautifully in that one test match at Perth. He batted pretty decently in that second knock. Gargi, if you were the Indian dressing room now, clearly Rohit Sharma not in form. You've sent a rookie to the press conference. What is the management going to do? Because questions will be asked of a Gautam, will be asked of a Rohit, will be asked of everybody. That you dropped Shubman Gill, you allowed Rohit Sharma to select his position, you've taken a call which has backfired. What does the team management do now to cheer the dressing room up?
I think at this point, keeping tomorrow in mind. By the way, you're talking about who's going, a rookie coming in for the press conference. When we asked the Australian media managers who, if they have any idea about who's coming in for the Indian press conference, he said, "I don't know which assistant coach will come in today." So that was a cheeky dig. That was a cheeky dig at us, but. Anyway, when we talk about tomorrow's innings, I think Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja will have to play a lot more with their minds than they do with the bat. It's going to be about disrupting that innings. Go back and look at how why Sam Constas was sent in, even though he's not very technically sound or something like that. He's not someone who can take on Jasprit Bumrah right from the get-go, but look at how he disrupted and through the attack completely. I mean, India was completely off their games. He put the opposition back in pressure. He put that pressure back on the opposition, and that's what you have to think. I think at this point, it's all about mentally going in there and being confident enough to think that we can win this game from here on. It's difficult. I'm not saying that it can be done, but you have to believe in it.
Australia got so many partnerships over there.
Yeah.
You got two, 3 wickets exactly the same way. You got the last half an hour. You got after Manas, Bumrah steamed in. You got Travis Head. You got Alex Carey, Mitchell Marsh, and then that 100-run partnership between Cummins and Steve Smith. If India does that, the lower middle order added 246 for six. They went to 476. India 160 for 5. It's that same situation. Add a couple of 100 runs and it's game on. So it's not as if it can't be done. Australia's just done it today.
And I think the common factor there is the pitch, the conditions. And that's the reason why I said why I would want Punch to sort of really take that calculative assault, as Amrut said, is because the pitch conditions are really good. I think batting conditions are really, really good. This is not Perth, right? This is a very, very good wicket. I think the weather has been fairly all right, and it's an old ball. So I think absolutely possible where, even if it's, and I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned from those bottom half partnerships, the running between the wickets, between, whether it was a Smith or a Cummins or a Stark, the way Stark took on Bumrah, that six of Bumrah. Clearly, after Sam, Gargi, to your point, every Aussie batsman believes I can hit Bumrah for a six. They believe. I think the word really will come down to believe or dream, as it's on my shirt. You got to believe and dream because this is what you play cricket for. Pitch conditions are good. Ball is old. I think they've had enough experience overseas. Just got to believe, and I think play attacking, positive, natural. But I would argue attacking cricket, but also do the basics right about basics right in terms of getting your running. Because suddenly, if you start attacking and you take your singles and doubles, you push the field, you open the field up. I think it could be advantage India. So you've got to believe we've got very good all rounders. Bumrah can score as well as we know. So I think if Ravindra Jadeja and Pant get us that 150-run partnership, suddenly the body language or the dressing room scenario starts changing. I'll conclude by saying today we saw 10 minutes could change the game. Why can't it change it back? That's the beauty of Test cricket. So we've got to dream and believe. Just 10 minutes, one session at a time. Back yourself. The conditions are in your favor. It could change.
Time to close the show. Thanking Rohan, Gargi, Prantik, what's your name, sir? Mahesh and Amrut. It is a disappointing day if you're an Indian. Make no mistake. But that's what Test cricket is all about. Test cricket will have its ebbs and flows. It will not be a one-way traffic for any team. Australia have their hand on this game. Having said that, Rishabh Pant will have his ideas. Ravindra Jadeja, tough nut, wanted to desperately play. Today when I came in at 8:15 in the morning, it was Ravindra Jadeja alone in the practice nets, training and batting. So we know this team can do it. They have done it in the past. Pant has, Jadeja has, Washington Sundar has, Nitish Kumar Reddy has looked very good. Rohit Sharma, time to deep dive. time to ask yourself that question: are you there mentally? Can you still take the rigors of Test match cricket and lead India in what is going to be perhaps the most important series decider in Sydney? You've got one more innings. You've got one more innings to step up, because otherwise, if this series goes, the pressure, if this match goes, the pressure will be humongous. As far as Gautam Gambhir, some critical calls. Your job will also be very, very important. Sit the captain down, have a quiet word. That dressing room will be deflated. Can they come back and make amends? That's the thought we leave you with. As far as Australia is concerned, what a day. Stephen Smith batted like a genius. Attrition yesterday, dominance today. Pat Cummins played a captain's hand. Mitchell Stark contributed. That pitch against KL Rahul from Pat Cummins, and Scott Boland proved once again why he's so good at the MCG. So Australian fans, huge, huge time to rejoice. But you know what? There's still a difference between the cup and the lip. And India could be down, but not out yet. On that note, from everyone here, for everyone watching back home, thank you very much for joining us. Join us for the 5 p.m. show, which will be 10:30 Australia time. And once again, tomorrow morning, we will be live at 9 a.m. Australia, which is 3:30 India, rather 9:30, which is 4 a.m. India, ahead of the play, which will start at ahead of the game, which will start at 10:30 Australia time. Gargi, Prantik, Rohan, Mahesh, Amrut, and everyone watching, thank you very much. Fingers crossed for India tomorrow morning. We have to have a better